On-site SEO. Last time we talked about how we can optimize the content of the selected pages of our website in order to be shown higher in search results, specifically Google search results. As we talked about, the most important thing you have to do is, number one, identify the pages that you want to optimize. Number two, identify the keywords you want to optimize. And number three, go on and optimize the title, the page title, the page description, the page URL slug in Wix, and also the content with regards to using headings, heading 1, 2, 3, and then helping Google understand the importance of some of your content inside with bold formatting, using paragraphs and using links. Today, we're going to go further and talk about images, videos, and location services that also help on-site SEO. Remember, this is the chapter that we are talking about how we can improve our content. That's why it says on-site SEO, in order to increase our the probability of getting higher in search results when the target audience uses specific keywords. So content is not only words, it's not only text. Content is also images and videos. Now, with regards to images, the three things that Google has taught us that they're tracking is the file name, meaning what is the name of the image before I upload it on my web server. This is something that we don't see with Wix when we use existing images. But if it was our image, then the name of it before we upload it on our website, it matters. It needs to be like a proper keyword. For example, if I'm going to upload a picture about the restaurant, the Nicosia restaurant, we have a Limassol in Nicosia 1. I'm not going to say img1.jpg. I've typed it in the chat. This is not a proper thing to do with regards to SEO. Well, I'm going to need, like I say, dk-restaurant-nicosia.jpg, which will count in SEO. Google will index it, and let's not forget that in addition to using Google search results, people are also using Google images. So you want a picture of your restaurant to appear high if they're searching for DK Nicosia restaurant in any way. The alt attribute, which is very important, I will explain what it is, and the image link, if the image has a link, the same way that the actual link. So the page that I'm connecting to gets indexed as well. But this is an internal link. I'm not talking about external links yet. So what is the alt attribute? Let's talk about that. This is an example of a page, of an image, sorry. This is the MBA logo. And this is what happens if the page fails to load, the image fails to load. There are a number of things that could happen for the image not to load. It could be that it's corrupted. It could be that for some way we have used a name that is not longer valid. So we renamed the image. I don't know, maybe of size constraints, maybe the connectivity of the user browsing on our site. So in that case, the alt attribute is enabled to tell to the user what the image is about. So in this case, you see in this example, NBA logo. This is the code generated. We're going to see how we apply this in Wix. We don't need to use code, but let's have a look at the HTML code that is generated for us. So this is the image, and this is the name of it. So you can see NBA-logo JPG, which is valid. Before we upload it, is valid for SEO. So it's not says like IMG1, it doesn't say any irrelevant naming. This is the alt attribute right there, NBA logo. This is what you see there. maybe I've changed it after I've taken the screenshot. It should be the same, capital letters. So the alt, it's for alternative. And also, if you have users that they are blind or they have any trouble with their vision, then the alternative attribute, the alt attribute, is enabled if they have speech generated text. So they have software that it can read what the page displays. And with regards to images, because a machine cannot interpret an image, it can read only text. The alt attribute will read to the user what the image is about. So that's also important there. But with regards to SEO, this goes into your index. So you can use it, you can ignore it, but for SEO, if you use it, you have another way of adding a couple of selected keywords. And there's the link, so it's been added. And if you click on the image, it takes you to poweroflove.com. When I had this example, Power of Love was the series to watch in Cyprus. Have you been watching Power of Love? A lot of my students back then were watching it. Do you know what is Power of Love? Guys, do you know what is Power of Love? The TV show?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm being serious. For those who don't know, Power of Love was the series that people were entering there in an attempt to find their love of their life. So it was a bunch of strangers in a house, and their aim was to become couples with the other participants. Now, with regards to digital marketing, this was their ultimate goal. Anybody that went there and then they exited, their followers increased on social media. So it was an excellent step for them, irrelevant of what they did in the game. They could be loved from the audience, they could be hated. But with regards to digital marketing, their exposure on social media increased after they exited the game, either for the good or for the bad. Now, going back. So just to give you another idea for digital marketing, those are considered influencers. I'm not saying use those, but these are what people doing, and they're, TV, reality shows. Reality shows are things that people watch. Doesn't mean we need to judge it if we like it or not, but the truth is that people watch reality shows. So poweroflove.com is irrelevant to MBA. Google will not complain. It doesn't care. What it will say is that Power of Love, which is an external website, will receive a vote of a referral link coming from our image on our website, on a page of our website. This is an off-site SEO hit for Power of Love. If this is actually a website, I don't know. So I'm just pointing out that you can add whatever you want. Google doesn't care, and it will index it accordingly. So this is something that we could use. It can be a normal link here or anywhere in the content to provide links to our partners. And it will count as a vote for off-site SEO. I'm going to come to that in my upcoming lecture today. So this is how we do it in Wix. I'm going to switch to Wix and demonstrate it. So any image you add, you have the image settings by clicking that button, and you can define the image text. What's in this image, tell Google. And I believe there is the alt attribute. I think this is the one. This is the one. And if you want to add a link, that will go to any website, any page. Now, internal links don't count the same as external links. Let's see. We'll talk about them later on. Before I go to Wix, let me also talk about videos. So what constitutes important information about videos? Again, the file name. So what is your video name before you upload it? The description and the keywords. All right, the hashtags. This is an example of one. Now, we will have a completely assigned lecture on YouTube, which I believe is the #1 platform for video, and also, creating a channel there. So we will create how we can optimize the videos there. It's my opinion that you should use YouTube for optimization, and then, as we have seen with our tutorials on Wix, you can add a video directly from YouTube into your page. So if it's optimized in YouTube, it will also be optimized found on your page. So these are the hashtags I was referring to. This is the title. The title also plays a role, but mostly the description in the video. How do you consider this to be a good description with regards to SEO, or a bad one? It's from here to here. What's your opinion? Should I repeat the question?
Personally, I don't know how the YouTube algorithm is working. Maybe it's a bad thing because it's too big, the description, so the YouTube will not promote it. But I'm not sure.
But we don't care about YouTube now. We care about Google. So in order for the description of the video to be, indexed in Google, how many characters did we say that Google considers? Things that they're most important. Do you remember? 120 characters. So I agree with you, because Sodiris.
Yes.
So I agree with Sodiris that is too long description, and if you scan it, if you skim read it, I can see SEO being repeated. So that tells me that one of the keywords is SEO. You can see it in the title, you can see it as a hashtag. And again, search engine optimization as a full phrase, and then SEO tutorial. I would have done a better job in selecting other keywords that can also be added. All right. Before we go to location, let's move back to Wix, and let's talk about how we can optimize images and videos. So I'm going to go to my restaurant. And I'm going to open up in edit mode. Okay. All right, so let me add an image here. So we should be uploading our own images, but as I have told you, you can use the free Wix images for the assignment. What we are missing though is the name of the file. So if I pick up an image and add it, the way you can optimize it is by going to settings, and this is what you need to change. There you are. What's in this image? Tell Google. All right, so this is let me make sure, yeah, that's the alt attribute right there, the alt text. So here is important what you type. If you use images for your website, probably you will have products images. Let me see what would be your selected keywords for each one. How are you going to let Google know what the products, what the image is about? And there are some obvious words and then some others that I would like to see. I want to point out, I don't know if I mentioned it last week, I want to make it clear. Anything we say in class, if you do it in the assignment, you will get points. I mean, you will get from 50, which is the passing mark, up to 70, which is the first mark. You're not going to get a first, though, if you just do what we say in class. You need to demonstrate somehow of a new idea coming from you, from the things we learn, but from the things we haven't said. Like if I point out like an image of a product should have the name of the product in the alt attribute, then it's an obvious one. If you do it, of course, I will take it as correct, but you're not going to get more than 70 if you just, apply what we have learned. I want you to demonstrate something new based on the boundaries of digital marketing tools that we have in the module. Now, the link as well, if you want to include it, is a link opens. As yes, add a link, you click that, and then you connect it to an internal page or to a web address, which is an external one. This is important with regards to offsite SEO, and I'm going to present it in a while. With regards to videos, ads, we go to video. It's in the video and music, and YouTube videos. So you should be doing the job in your YouTube channel if you select to have one, or if you have selected not to have a YouTube channel, then you need to do the job here. Go to settings and there's what's the video about? Add a description. So this description plays a role with regards to SEO. You make sure you include your keywords, that what this video is about. How would you like this video to appear in which search results? This is what you need to think about. As you can see, there is no title here because it's an imported video. But once you upload it on YouTube, there the name and the title plays a role with regards to SEO there. So the search results will show the video in YouTube instead of your page. Let's see. So there you have more tools to work with rather than adding a video here on your page. So what I'm saying, add it as optimized video. I hope that makes sense. The last but not least, we have location-based searches. We have seen this before. We talked about when people are searching gyms near me, cafes in Limassol, cafes in Cyprus, they may say cool cafes. I don't know, maybe they will say restaurants, Italian restaurants. So when they're using some keywords, you may want your map to appear there. So location-based searches. You can establish that by adding a map in your in one of your pages. So we actually have seen that before. There you are. And you can add it by going to add, contact and forms, and there you have it. And Wix uses Google Maps. What's a better way of using Google search engine optimization if you're using actual Google Maps, the maps of the actual provider? Now, from there, the marker is important. So if you manage locations, what you add with regards to the, you edit that, the title, the address is important in order for Google to be able to do this, to show your business when you're looking for near me, based on the location of the user, assuming the user is logged in with his Gmail, for example. The description is also important with regards to SEO. So all of this, make sure you select proper words that, of course, they are referring to human beings, but at the same time, they include your keywords. There's another one. Now, I want to point out that I understand that sometimes it's difficult to come up with words that can be, relating to your selected keywords. And as you progress, you may want to differentiate a little bit your keywords, meaning as you go from one page to another. So if I go to Google and just search James Nicosia, if you go further down, you can find related searches. So Google tells you what people have been searching relating to what you have just searched. So you can get very good ideas, like for example, 24-hour gym Nicosia, CrossFit Nicosia, meaning they are looking for a specific type of exercise. So that can give you some, I don't need to use all of them, like boxing gyms Nicosia. Again, it goes with that category that they are searching specifically for a type of exercise. And Jim Strovolos seems to be higher than any other area in Cyprus, especially, where I'm located, Nicosia, based on your past activity. So there's an example again here that you can get some ideas for your keywords. And you can see that Google gives you 3, sometimes 4 keywords, so they are related, and at the same time they're guiding us how many number of keywords should we be adding. Did we talk about how many keywords do you think you should be targeting in every page? What do you think? When you optimize a page, how many keywords are you going to target?
2 or 3.
Maybe 10.
So, okay, we got like the people that said 3. Did you include the brand name or excluding that?
Excluding the brand name, just the 3 words.
So, Patra, you said excluding, right? Excluding. Άκουσα καλά?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I totally agree. So then up to 10, I respectfully disagree. You can do whatever you want, but it's gonna be difficult to target a multiple number of keywords and do it well. So what you want to do is target, it's my opinion, excluding the brand name, which has to be constant in every page. 3 to 5, I would say. That's something that is feasible to do. Remember, you're going to have to include it in certain areas that matter. So how are you going to add more than 5 in headings, in paragraphs, and at the same time, you don't become tiring to the audience, right? That doesn't become obvious and frustrating to the audience that you are promoting some keywords. Now, it could be a way, right? I would like to see it, but what I think is feasible is if you target 3 to 5, excluding the brand name, and you can go from there. If you can add more, that's good. Remember, it's not only the quality, it's the quantity as well. So you have to repeat them, and you have to place them in certain areas. Keyword stuffing, we talked about it before. It's something that you should avoid. Google says that it identifies it. I'm not sure that it does, but they say that to scare us. But the visitors, human beings, will definitely identify it. So if you go in and you point out this in your content, like I have applied bold in order to promote it, like tell Google that this is important. And I have Toronto wedding 3 times, photographer, photography, so different variation of the language. When a person sees this, they will automatically shut down. They will have a bad impression. So it's something you should avoid. And based on what Google says, you will receive a penalty and the page is removed from the search engine results. So it's something that you need to strike a balance. Make sure you have proper content for human beings, but at the same time, satisfy the criteria for Google and beat your competitors. It's something that is at the same time, everybody plays with the same book, but only imaginative solutions will survive. Now, one more thing I would like to demonstrate is that Wix also offers, let me go to the editor and let me go to menus and pages. Now go to home. Using the three dots there, SEO Google, go to that tab. There's also SEO Wiz. So it's you get a part of it, a part of SEO step-by-step plan provided by Wix for free. Let's have a look. So you can do that with every one of your pages. So it will give you a different plan for every one of your images, of your pages. So I'll do it for home now. So if I go to SEO Wiz, it's going to ask me to answer a couple of questions in order to create the plan accordingly. So let's see that. There you are. Wix has the best SEO for your website, blah, blah, blah. Start now. What's the business name? So you need to define what's the brand name if you say. So DK Restaurant, I will also add Italian there just to confuse it, just to see what would be the suggestion given to me. Do you have a business location? If you have a physical address, it needs the address because it will help you, add it as a keyword. So I'm going to say Nicosia, Cyprus. And how will you describe your business? Up to 3 keyword phrases. So Italian restaurant. Using comma, you can go to the other one. Exciting atmosphere. Let me spell that. Ευχαριστούμε για την ενημέρωση. Έχει κανένα νέο πράγμα ξέρουμε. Exciting atmosphere and event planning. So you cannot go on more than 3. That's the free version. Create a SEO plan. So let's see what it will suggest to me. It's building it up. And this is something that you can use. There you are. So step 1 has 7 actions to take, where 3 of them have been satisfied already. So this is my home. There you are. This is what I had already been set with regards to the title, the description, and the URL flag. So I'm getting 3 of them. Homepage SEO description is ready for search results. So it has identified that I have included my keywords there. So although they are not all of them, it says that is okay. You are included a satisfying number. But the homepage title, it says that I'm lacking something. You can say, go for it. It will suggest what you need to do. Event planning, DK Italian restaurant, Cyprus. I mean, you don't have to do it. Just, be advised by it. You can copy it, and it tells you where you need to go and copy. Look at that and paste it. You say, go to editor. It will open up that page. Watch. It will go to that tab and it will tell me there. Paste it there. Wait for it. There you are. Opens it up. It's going to go to home now. There you are. It has opened it up. It went to the SEO Google. And it demonstrated, it showed me the here. So I can just paste it. Just that. Now, I may disagree with something, I can erase it, like I can also say Nicosia Cyprus here. But once I publish, if I go back and say refresh, it will tell me, there you are, now it's been done. So now I have 5 out of 7 have been satisfied with that move. So you can go around and see these suggestions, of course, only the ones that we can do for free. There is also a step 2. So it's going to take you, that's the home page. That's the blog page suggestions. If you go more, it will tell you for every one of your pages what you need to do. A maps page, all of it. Just the basic ones. And if you go all of them and you satisfy the needs, then it's another tool that you can feel assured that you have optimized it. And the step 3, of course, is not free. You need to, it's trying to get us to pay to advance and get a more an SEO partner. We're going to talk about that in a while. Maxine. So this is another way for you, the SEO whiz, to make sure that you have optimized the page correctly. As you are starting to add content, because here I have 25 actions, it will increase the number of suggestions for you. You don't need to do all of them. You need to select which ones they're applied to you. But it's very good, guide to go through and have a read what things you should be improving. Can I get a confirmation if this is understood?
Yes.
Thank you, Sodiri. All right, Christo. Thank you for the people that are confirming with the thumbs up. Very good. So this is on site. Again, the Google has hundreds of criteria. Not all of them are known. I have presented the most popular ones, the ones that everybody out there are the first ones they will improve. It's up to you if you want to research and come and suggest some other improvements to be made that I haven't told you about. This is you go more than 70 if you actually demonstrate some research being applied. Did you get the invitation for the Saturday's tutorial?
Yes.
All right, so I will see you on Saturday for how to use the Word Automatic Referencing tool. I will be teaching that in order to having no excuse of them presenting your references correctly as a citation inside and as a reference at the end, using Harvard, the unclear style. So if you actually research and find another way to improve, there are many other ways, you can place the reference and actually apply it on one of the pages of your site. But these are going to be the ones that I will be marking. So this is on-site. We're moving now to off-site, which is also important. So you're not done. Whoever takes the responsibility for SEO, there is the on-site, which is a lot of work, and there is also the off-site. Now, unfortunately, it's not something that we can do in practice. So this one will have to be in theory. So let me explain what counts as off-site SEO. And then I will tell you what I need from you for the assignment. Now, when we talk about offsite, we're talking about what's happening outside of our website. And mostly we are referring to the referral links, so-called backlinks. We will talk about that and how we can identify them, how we can increase them, and what we need to do to establish them. Number 2, the social media exposure, and I'm going to talk about the myth of how social media, plays a role in SEO. And of course, we're going to talk about the blog and how important it is to have a blog on your website. So, number 1, backlinks. How can we identify them and what are they? For that, I'm going to go back to my SEObility analytical tool. I have received emails about the SEObility tool. Some people, they suggested other analytical or tools. No objection from me if you want to use different ones. Like say, I'm not saying this is the best one. I'm just saying I've used this one and it works. If you feel that you will be using a different one, I don't mind, as long as you can use it to justify some of your decisions. Like say, you can use any one you want, but I'm just presenting the one that I have used and I think it's performing well. So from SEObilly.net, if you come down, there is a backlink checker tool. That, if you use it, I have 5 checks remain today. So I'm going to go again for the UCY example, the English version. So I'm testing the home page now. Check backlinks. It will return all links that are out there that they are referring to your page. Google has introduced this algorithm to separate itself from the previous search engine. Do you know what was the first search engine before Google? Which one was the top search engine?
Yahoo.
Yahoo, exactly. Now, Yahoo had on-site SEO. It's not something that Google invented. Google invented off-site. And it's like thinking, wait a minute, anybody can go on their page and add anything they want. They can add the keywords, and if they have a good experienced personnel, they can do it actually pretty good. So we can have at the top of the results pages that they are optimized on-site excellently. But the same way we value word of mouth. Like if you recommend somebody to me and you are my friend, I'm gonna listen to you, because if you say you went to that place and you loved it, you know, I may be convinced. If I go to the website and read that we are the best, come to us, I may not believe it. But if I listen to it from a friend, or if I go somewhere and I can see a lot of people talking about and recommending it, then I could be convinced, word of mouth. So with regards to SEO, Google counts the links to your pages that are coming from other pages out there. They're referrals. So think about it. If Panayotis has a website, all right, Panayotis is a famous chef, right, Panayotis? I knew it. You are a famous chef.
Yes, I'm doing good.
See, thank you, Panayotis. So Panayotis has a website that posts his recipes and actually demonstrates how to use ingredients to have, you know, a lovely spaghetti bolognese. And I'm a company that I'm creating sauce for spaghetti bolognese. I may go to him and say, Panayoti, here you are, I can pay you, or, you know, we can establish a partnership. In your next post, put a link saying while you demonstrate how to prepare a spaghetti bolognese, and say, we can use this sauce in your video. You can find the link below, click on it, and you will go to the page in order to purchase it. If they click on it and they come to my website, that's a referral link. Even if it's there, it's a referral link, and Google values it. So they say, okay, you can pay Panayotis. I mean, everybody has a budget for creating partnerships, affiliates, but the one that will thrive will be the one that people are posting links on their own, because they actually think that page is worth mentioning in my website, because it will increase the value of the content that I'm offering to my users. So that
Dimitri, can I add something about what you said? Because I have been doing some research about, let's say, I forgot the name, the influencers. The majority of the companies, they're choosing someone who's already is having his own website, so they can work together with the post on, let's say, on Instagram, but at the same time, they want them to write something on their websites, so they can give them the extra value you just mentioned.
Let me point out, Panayota, you pointed something Instagram. I want to, demolish this myth that exists out there. If you believed in it, be informed. Links in social media have the least weight for SEO. So if you convince somebody to post a link to your website, to your page, from their Instagram, Facebook, whatever, it counts, but the weight is very, very small. As Panayoti said, you need to include them in a website. We call them editorial links. Those are the links that have the higher weight value. So social media, please don't use them in your assignment with regards to your strategy for increasing your backlinks. Think about it. Anybody can go to Facebook and place 1 million of spamming links on any post. Should Google consider those? But creating a website and placing links there, it's difficult. It's more difficult than actually creating a Facebook or Instagram account and start posting links. So what you are looking for are editorial links, links that are found on websites. And that's what I'm gonna go get to with the blogs. That's the total, absolute perfect way to introduce backlinks and also create content for other people to have backlinks to your content. Let's see about UCY, total backlinks 2052. So if you go there, you can see each one and it has a link rating because how is the page valued in Google? And that's the rating, the value of the referral link will have. I want to, put something on the table there so you can think about it. Do we like all backlinks? Like, do we want everybody out there to include a backlink to our website? Or could we have pages that we don't want them to be related with us? Think about it. So when you create your strategy, think about what kind of backlinks you want and what you will do to get them. Again, it can be you pay them, that's the easy solution, or you establish content on your website so that you convince them by themselves they want to add a backlink to that page because you are presenting something precious, something important. So, for example, let's see this one. Like if I go to it, and I think it's a conference that is coming up. Let me see, University of Cyprus. I think this is the link right here. This is the link. So if I click that, it takes me to the home page. This is what the analytical tool has identified. So you can see what backlinks your company already has. Now, because you've made selections with no websites, what kind of research will you do with regards to backlinks? What can we do with regards to searching what types of backlinks? Any idea? So if we had a website, we will be looking at our own backlinks and then we make sure that we improve them. Or if there is somebody there that is posting a backlink to us, you should email them and thank them. It's something that you say, I have seen that you have added a link to us. Thank you very much. Should I also guide you to have a look at this as well? Maybe you are interested, so you encourage them to keep that relationship going on, especially the people that have added links to your site for free. But again, the question, what kind of research are you going to do here? You should do here.
The quality of the website.
Irini, but we don't have a website yet.
The quality of other website that we want to put our link, backlink.
Say the keyword. What do we call them? Who do we go and learn from their best practices?
Competitors.
Competitors. Bravo, Kyriako. So one thing I will do is I will search my competitors' backlinks, because if we are on the same industry and there is somebody out there that is willing to add a backlink on their website, maybe they are willing to add a backlink to my website as well. If there is a supermarket that provides links to recipes, Panagiotis recipes, because he's a chef. If I'm a new chef, I can go to that supermarket and say, I have seen that you have a link for Panagiotis. Can you add one of mine? Here's the content that I have. You may convince them. They may want payment, but at least you start with possible cooperations that may actually work. Otherwise, how are you going to go and find possible partners that they are willing to add backlinks that lead to your site? Actually, don't create content and then you stay and you wish that they will find you. This is for existing companies. We are startups, meaning we are companies that we are just setting up. Does that make sense? Does that make sense what you have to do for backlinks? So for the assignment, thank you, ladies. For the assignment and gentlemen, I would like to hear, I would like to see what specific partners you will be contacting in the future. You don't need to contact them in order to ask them to place a backlink to which of your pages. I want names. And of course, why do you think those are best cooperations? Now, with regards to our site, what we can do, by the way, let me once again point out that creating share-worthy content on social media improves SEO in the long run. It does not influence SEO directly, but indirectly. What does that mean? It means that if I increase the viewing, if I create a new page on my website, what's the best way for me to promote it? I can post it for free on my Facebook profile and say, there you are, here is our latest post about this and that. So from there, it doesn't count for SEO, but it increases the popularity of it. And those people that may have a website, they may create content on their website and link to my promoted article. So by providing for free on social media, it doesn't help it indirectly, but it can help it indirectly only if those people, some of them, one of them has a website and decides that your content is worthy enough to be shown on their website. I'll show you some examples in a while. Now, before we go on to talk about blogs, and that blogs is the excellent way for you to create content worthy of a backlink, I want to talk about some other algorithms that they play a role and they affect offsite SEO with regards to Google. So we're talking about the click-through rate. It's not something that you can do for the assignment, but we're not just here for the assignment. So what is click-through rate? Let me demonstrate it. So I've searched Jim's Nicosia. Now I'm scrolling down, right? I've seen this result. I'm not clicking on it. I've passed it. I'm going back. I've seen it again. It's now on my view. I've passed it. I'm seeing it again. I'm going to click on it. The click-through rate is 1/3. So I've seen it 3 times, but I clicked it once. So Google counts that. So if you get at the top of the results, but somehow people are not clicking to get inside, probably there is something faulty. It could be the title, it could be the description. It's like Google saying, oh, you maybe tricked us with keyword stuffing, but people have punished you by not clicking to go inside because you have included, it could be like you have some words that people don't like, or they can say repetitive words. So the click-through rate is what will, in the long run, self-correct the results. So Google will reduce your ranking. Bounce rate. If I go inside, Google will also count what do you do after that. So what does it consider for bouncing? Some people are mistaking that. If I scroll up and down, this does not count as an action. An action would be for me to click on the menus, click on anything, interact with it. If I don't do anything else and I leave, it will count as a bounce. Scrolling up and down is not an action. So people who bounce right away after landing, which basically means your site didn't give them what they wanted. Once we go to Google Analytics, bounce rate is something that we need to keep track on certain pages. I want to point out, bounce rate is not necessarily a bad thing. In some pages, we do want to have a high bounce rate. Can you give me one of those pages?
Thank you page. After they make a purchase.
Bravo. So Diri, let me point out that bounce rate is when you land on that page and then you exit. So you didn't come through another page on your website. So, but you're right. If for some reason they found it on Google or they may found it on social media and they clicked on it and they go on that page. So if they leave, that's a good thing because that was part C, D of my customer journey. It wasn't part A. So that's a good thing that they wanted to leave because they didn't, took advantage of the full customer journey I offered. Similarly, if we get the highest bounce rate on the starting pages of the customer journeys, it's something to be concerned. Can you tell me what is considered to be a high bounce rate? What is an alarming bounce rate on landing pages? I'm talking about startups that we are. Startups mean with regards to digital marketing, we are building it up right now. What is it considered to be a high bounce rate?
Over 30%.
Best 30, so Diri?
30 and above.
30 and above, okay. Any other responses before I give out the answer?
Or 90?
Panayoti, you are very close. It's 80. 80. So if you get up to 80, it's okay. People usually, when they first see something, they go away. It's not something to be alarmed. It's something to say, okay, how about I twitch a little bit of things here so I can get them to stay? Maybe produce something that will attract their attention so they can click on it. More than 80, it's something to be alarmed. I'm talking about not established websites, websites that we are building them up right now. Same thing for your assignment. If you get less than 50%, very well. I will hire you right away. If you get bounce rate less than 50% on the first run, very good. Dwell time. How long they stay on your site after they have arrived, not on the site, on the page. So again, if I go in and I stay there, Google tracks how long you stay. Let me point out now, this is as long as the page has Google Analytics. It doesn't do magic. I mean, Google doesn't know how long you stay here. But usually a lot of pages, like a lot of pages have Google Analytics added on their pages. So they're used against you as well. So if I just stay for 10 seconds, in contrast with staying in 1 minute, I think it makes sense that the one that you stayed more, although you didn't went through to another page, it counts as that you have shown more interest. So this also values of site SEO. It's not something you can do on your site. It's something that Google uses an algorithm for it. So it's good to know though. Now, blogging, creating content. Any type of page you create out there, why would somebody want to add a link on their page to yours? It could be the contact us page, it could be the map, it could be the offers. I understand that. But the thing that will get somebody to start considering you as a valuable source for having a constant linking to your site is your blog. And I'm not talking about same topic. I'm talking about different posts. Blogging builds trust. Blogging provides authority, shows the audience that you know what you are talking about. And that audience may have their own websites. They may be experts on their craft. And if it's similar, if it's relating, they will add a link to your site. So let me demonstrate one. I'm doing a lecture here, and I will present the Google BERT algorithm. So I've read about it, and because I wanted to give to my students a reference, I've used it in my lecture slides. That's a link. So if I click on it, it goes where? On the SEObility blog. So SEObility offers, SEO services. They also have a blog, and they post about, upcoming changes or things with regards to SEO. So I've read about this, and I think it's something that will interest you. We're going to talk about it in a while. It's the latest algorithm by Google with regards to SEO. Well, Google searches in general. So I've used this link in my slides. So that's a backlink that will go up to CIM intranet. So they get a backlink with regards to, because I'm uploading this as PDF. So once you open them, they have their own URL. Therefore, the SEObility post about the BERT algorithm will get a vote. They didn't contact me to add a link. I've read it. I think it's valid, so I've used it on my own. It's a blog post. And once we go to social media, you will see more posts used by me in my lecture notes. So the blog, it is the number one, in my opinion, the number one way to get backlinks. It's the most qualitative way for you to get people to find useful to link their site with yours, and therefore increases the pages ranking in Google. Off-site SEO counts more than on-site SEO because it's the word of mouth. It's what other people think of your page. Just to finish the chapter before we go for a break, I want to also talk about, this is not something you have to do for the assignment, all right? Let's just see what's the future in SEO. Do you know that people have changed the way they search? Have you used voice searches either on your desktop, laptop, or even your smartphone? Anybody here used Siri or the Google Assistant on your phone? Or maybe you've used Alexa?
Google Assistant.
Siri.
Very good. I've heard, because I don't have kids, but I've heard that people with kids, when they go to, see a new thing, I had a mother telling me that they went to a country and the kid was asking all the time, what is that? What is that? What is that? I said, here you are, ask Google. And the little girl, I'm talking about 10 years old, was using Google to ask in Greek, what is that? What is the other one? I mean, they were telling the name of what they were seeing, and the kid was asking Google. So you may haven't used it, this was a prediction, by 2020 of all searches will be conducted via voice. I don't want to say that it's 50% right now, but I would say it has increased. 30% of...
Did you say in Greek?
No.
No. Okay, I didn't know this.
No, you can actually ask something in Greek. Hello? And actually the little girl was demonstrating to her brother of how to ask Google about it. Now, by the way, we have even more services like Shazam. Anybody? You use Shazam?
Yes.
What is Shazam?
Yes.
All right. Those people that don't know what is Shazam, shame on you. I mean, what are you doing when you listen to a song and don't know what it is? It's voice recognition. It's something that sound recognition, if I would say, and it does it very well. Does it very, very well. So the technology is there. Is that people need to have the switch. Jana, also using searching by image on Google. Very good. Do you mean the metadata?
No, I mean, for example, if I don't know what's the tree, for example, on the street, I'm taking a picture and search it in Google, and it shows me results.
By voice recognition, do you ask what kind of tree this is?
No, I upload the photo and it's searching by photo, by image.
Yeah, in order to generate the search, do you type something, or you just click the button and it finds results about that image?
Yes, correct.
The second one.
Yes, the second one.
If you combine it with voice, like you can say, what kind of tree is it? It may return different results that if you just search for it, it uses the image's metadata. So it uses the alt attribute, Jana, because Google doesn't understand what the image is. The alt attribute, maybe the file name, maybe the link. So if that metadata is not accurate, it may produce like false information. But if you ask for it, what kind of tree is it? It knows exactly where to direct the searches. But interesting. Thank you, Jana. By the way,
sorry, I'm not really sure that it could be while you're searching by image that you can use the voice as well. I'm not really sure. I need to check it.
No, use that. Here. Find that icon.
No, but for images, you have to go to another page.
And when you upload it, don't you see that icon there?
No, only
Okay.
images you can upload, not the voice.
Okay, so I thought once you upload it, there's no, that's okay, maybe I'm mistaken. All right, something that maybe should be, introduced. Let me ask the question, what's the difference when people are searching by typing, contrast by searching, using voice? What's the difference? Why is it different? Why should we care with regards to digital marketing?
They may use slang language, or they don't, let's say the word in the right way.
Very good. The second one, Panayoti, is not something that we can do. So it's Google's job to figure it out. But with regards to digital marketing, I want to take what you said. It changes the keywords that we have to address. It changes the keywords. They may use slangs, they may use, a different way. Like if I'm going to search for an Italian restaurant, I may say Italian restaurant Nicosia. If I'm going to express it with my voice, I may say a nice Italian restaurant in the center of Nicosia, because it doesn't cost me a lot to express it by voice. People elaborate more, elaborate further. So it will change, not completely, but it will change some of the keywords that we are addressing. Then, Sotiri, we're going to go more than 5 up to 10 keywords that you have mentioned before. And just
Dimitri,
Paragalo.
I want to ask basically something about what you just mentioned. It's what we call, doesn't use it anymore like this. It was, let's say, keywords where you can use. Can you hear me now? Basically, is that what we say long tail in Google?
And the connectors as well, and the connectors like and, in, or, those will matter now.
Okay.
Would you like to present the next one, Panayoti, and then you can ask me, because that's the BERT algorithm right there. So the BERT algorithm was introduced in 2019. It's the latest algorithm that affects the way Google conducts the searches. Look at the one that before the introduction of the algorithm and after. If somebody was to search, this was November 2019, Brazil traveler to USA need a visa. As you may are aware, Google ignores connectors, like small words that they were using in our syntax to provide meaning in grammar. So to USA is ignored, the word to. So before the BERT algorithm, we were getting results like, for example, this one, US citizens can travel to Brazil. So the indication that the people searching Brazil traveler to USA, there's one way, is from Brazil to USA, is not understood by Google. At least it was not understood by Google. So it provides results which have the exact opposite. So somebody from the US, if they want to go to Brazil. So the word to indicates intention. After the introduction of the BERT algorithm, which after, voice searches have increased, they have added some keywords that indicate intention, negativity, even emphasis in their search queries. So after the introduction of November 2019, you actually get the correct results. U.S. Embassy consulates in Brazil. So it's actually in Brazil. It understands, it will guide the person how to find information about what he actually wanted, to go to USA. So this is a valid result. This was not. And let me demonstrate one more. So if I go to this link, they have another very good example here. This one. So before, if you were searching parking on a hill with no curb, on a no does not matter in Google searches. So you will get results parking on a hill, at a curb. So it was completely the opposite what the user wanted. After the introduction of the BERT algorithm, it understands those keywords. And there now you're getting actually relating results. On a hill with no curb indicates that there's a negativity, there's a subtraction. Also with voice...
Dimitri, is because they want to make it more personalized.
It's because they want to have it connected with voice recognition, Panayot, because the voice, we tend to use these connecting lines and those emphasis words in voice recognition. When you say more personalized, it's more accurate results, I would say, not personalized, more accurate results. One thing more, when you express the query, you can indicate emphasis, like you can say, a nice Italian restaurant, like a nice Italian restaurant in Nicosia. So the nice, I have emphasized it with my voice. But when you type, you cannot emphasize it the same way. That will matter with the introduction of the BERT algorithm. I'm not stating so you can do something for the assignment. I'm just stating that it is one of the new algorithms by Google with regards to Google searches. So your keywords, will become even more complex in order to select what keywords to address. Any questions?
Dimitri,
Παρακαλώ.
what about the conspiracy theory that our smartphones can hear us when they speak?
Ναι, Android, ναι. Especially Android phones. They say that about Android phones.
Yes.
Ναι. I haven't seen anything like a professional article about it, Sodiri, but I'm having an Android phone, and I can say that yes, sometimes when I'm talking on the phone or if I'm receiving text messages and we talk about something, then I can see an ad appearing in Facebook or in Google search results. Yeah, that's correct. I have seen it happening. I don't know if it's a coincidence. I haven't tracked my full search results in order to see if it's, but you're right. Up to this point, it's not an verified hypothesis. It's still a hypothesis. Okay, listen up. We're gonna have a 15-minute break. So let's say 9:05, we come back and we're gonna go to Google Analytics. All right, so I'm gonna upload the slides now and we will proceed to Google Analytics. See you in 15 minutes. Thank you very much. All right, 9:05. Let's continue, please. I know it was a short break, but we are having a 2 hours and 30 minutes lecture every week. Can I get a confirmation from you that you're with me?
Yes.
Thank you, Rafaelia.
Yes, yes.
All right, yes, Alex.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Now, the next step that we have to do together, is Google Ads. It's not Google Analytics. But because we're not going to get through in 1 hour for Google Ads, we will see Google Analytics today, and next time we will have a look at advertising in Google. Pay-per-click, search results, and display ads. Google Ads is, of course, if you can manage to get at the top of the results with your SEO, then you can cheat your way there with ads in order to gain some attraction to your site, and then until your SEO campaign kicks in. So that's for next time. Today, we're going to have a look at Google Analytics, and of course, it's part of your assignment under the category evaluation metrics. Let me point out what I'm looking from you, and this is what we do in real life. Any campaign you suggest has to be a short-term campaign. So it has to have a starting date and an ending date. In real life, we can also run long-term campaigns that we start it up and we let it run. We assign a portion of the budget and we let it run forever. This is, for example, promoting the brand, or promoting sales, or retention, all year round campaigns. For the assignment, I'm not interested for those because I cannot mark them. I can only mark short-term campaigns because they have a starting date, an ending date, and a goal, a target. Therefore, your evaluation metrics will kick in anytime you want to, and you will track any statistics you want to in order to justify how you will be tracking the success of your campaign based on your selected objective. So if you run an acquisition campaign and you will run it for a month, I need to know what kind of evaluation metrics, and for the assignment, it's compulsory to use Google Analytics. And from there on, you can add any other statistics you want. But Google Analytics is compulsory for everybody. So what statistics of Google Analytics you will be using in order to track the progress and the success of the campaign? So I don't care if the campaign will be successful at the end, because we don't know. What I do care is proper planning for the campaign to be successful. And tracking the statistics, the appropriate statistics every time, in order to make sure we will learn if the campaign is not successful at the end. This is what is going to get you full marks. Now, for every one of the campaigns, it's either going to be, as we said, acquisition, conversion, or retention. I'm letting you know now, you need to think of different statistics. So the value of them change based on what is the objective. So there is not one answer that fits every suggested journey. Now, the one thing I want to point out, we have a number of links here. The first two are so the first two is the link to the Google Analytics homepage, which you cannot use it for the 3 week site that you have, guys. So you're not going to actually apply Google Analytics. It's not free for weeks. You have to pay to add it. You don't need to do it. So you only need to tell me what kind of statistics you will be tracking in the 4 categories of the reports: real-time, audience, acquisition, and behavior. So this is what I'm going to present today. The second link is the Ultimate Google Analytics Glossary, right? Labsdata.com blog, that's another example. That's a blog on whatever this company sells, we don't care. But I found that this article that explains what every one of that means, like bounce rate, what does it mean? If you click on it, it explains. These are statistics in these categories. So if I go to behavior, I'm going to see, is it audience? I think it's real time. I'll do another. The bounce rate is in there. I will find it. Maybe it's not actually in one of those categories, but it appears here. We will see it. So once we see bounce rate, what does it mean? You come here and you measure it. The same way, the other way around. I can go to audience and say active users. So if I search it up, active users, I can see what it means. All right. So you have the description here. Today I will present a number of them, not all of them, of course. It's up to you. It's up to you to find out which of those statistics in Google Analytics are, adequate for your suggested campaigns. And I need you to tell me when you will be tracking them as well, not which ones only. Now, the first video, it's explaining, this is the video that I have from the link here, how to set up Google Analytics. But because we're not going to actually set them up, I'm going to explain them myself. And then we're going to go to the second video, which is a video that demonstrates a real website and goes through some specific, important, in my opinion, statistics that you need to know about. Okay, so give me first a second to demonstrate how we add, not for the assignment, but in real life, an account to our website in order to start tracking it. I will also explain that since the 14th of October of 2020, Google Analytics have changed. Personally, I haven't tried the new one. I mean, I know about it. I will show you, but I haven't tried it. I don't know how to, explain it to you, which ones are the important statistics. Even tutorials online, they are mostly found for the previous system, the one that I'm going to explain today. And you can actually use this presentation, these categories, when you create a new account. I will demonstrate it. So let's have a look. So what you can do is go to admin. I'm just demonstrating now, don't need to follow me on this one. And you can click create account. Of course, you need to go to analytics.google.com, which is the home page, and log in using your Gmail, your Google account. So you create an account, all right? You point out which one it is. So I'm just going to say test account because I'm going to delete it afterwards. And you specify what kind of data will you be providing, will you willing to share to your Google Analytics. So this is how Google gets, data from us as well. So if you give it for benchmarking, so this will help when somebody wants to use it for benchmarking for the competitors. Anyway, let's go next. Over here, you can see it's automatically set for the newer version, Google Analytics 4. So I'm going to let it go through with the new version of Google Analytics. And then I'm going to come back and demonstrate how you can switch it to the older version, the Universal Analytics, which is, right now it's what is mostly used. We need more time to understand the Google Analytics 4 update, which is here since 14th of October of 2020, which is rather recent. So property, so TK issues, acquisition campaign. I'm going to add on my selected pages in order to track that campaign. I'm living in Cyprus, so it's for Nicosia. I'm using euros. And this is where you change it. Show advanced options. This is where you can switch it back to the older version, Universal Analytics, which is going to have those 4 categories. I'm not going to do that right now, so we can see the update. We're moving on to next. What kind of business are you? So you can select the industry. This is in order for Google to be able to categorize you. You let them know what you are. So I'm in the footwear. I should see. No. What could it be? Whatever, other. Small business, and you can select what you want, what you intend to use Google Analytics for. This is for their own statistics. You can leave empty if you like. You switch it up in order to accept the terms and services for your country. And once you accept, the account has been added, and you can see here, these are the new categories. So they have been changed. What we will talk about is the older version, which only has 5 categories. 4 of them are compulsory for your assignment. So this is the new way. Personally, I'm not ready to talk about the new version. I haven't used it. Therefore, I need to know more about it before I explain it to you guys. So probably I'm going to do it next year, not for you. So for the assignment, you don't need to use the new version unless you're familiar with it. I don't mind. But I will explain the older version, which some of the categories are common with the new ones. Now, let me finish this one. If we go to what kind of, where are you going to be, are you having a website or an application? So we're going to have a website. What's the page URL? So let's say www.dimitris.com. In the actual life would be the domain name. That's DK. I'm just going to say DK testing now. Create string, and this is what we want. The connected, this is one, global site tag. So if you click that, this is what you pick up. You copy it from here, and you have to place it inside the head section of all your pages that you want Google Analytics to be tracked. So you don't add it in all pages. You add it only in the pages that you want Google to track the statistics that you want to track. Next thing, this is very important. So you put it inside the head section of your HTML. That's why you need to have some knowledge of HTML. Even if we use Wix, there is a way to add this global site tag, not for the free version though. You need to upgrade to a paid version. So that's all I need. Now, once again, that's cannot teach that. Therefore, I'm going to go and create another one. I'll go back to, there you are, account settings, and create an account. So I'll have this as testing account 2. Once again, that will be my acquisition campaign. So you can pick up tracking, a tracking code and put it behind some pages, and that's for that campaign. And then you can do it again and get a different tracking code and add it on different pages. Then the statistics are for those as well. So this is how you differentiate your campaigns. Otherwise, if you place it behind all pages, you have mixed signals. You're going to get mixed statistics. Then how are you going to differentiate the statistics are coming from direct referrals, or people are coming from SEO, or how do you know in order to compare with the objective of the assignment? So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to convert it to the previous version. So all those will go away, you will see. So that you need to specify once again the home page. And if you want, Google lets you create for both Google Analytics 4, which is the latest one, and Universal Analytics, which is the previous one. So it creates two JavaScript codes, two scripts. You place both of them in the head section. Therefore, you have two ways of tracking. Now, I'm going to go just create the older version. I'm going to go next. Once again, I have to answer these questions. So I'm in the, I don't know, food and drink, small company. I can click any one of that. I don't mind. Create. And once I switch to Cyprus, it will create the JavaScript that I have to place in the HTML tag, head tag of every page you want to track. There, it says it there. So you pick up this, you copy it, you go to your site and you place it inside the head tag. And automatically it will start tracking. That's it. It's so easy. You have to add it in every page. So for the assignment, and by the way, there it is. If I expand it, I now have the older, like the old version categories, which for now they make sense, right? I can teach that. I can answer questions on this one. If you use the new version, I don't mind. I can search it up and find if you're telling the truth or not, but it's not something I can help you with. So whatever I teach today and whatever I'm going to provide support with, it's still on the previous, version, if I may say that. It's still valid one, right? It's not that a lot of people are currently using it. Now we have the real-time category, the audience category, acquisition and behavior. These are compulsory for the assignment. So you need to select a campaign or campaigns and tell me for each one of them, how are you going to be tracking the success of that campaign? So you need to select on those 4 categories which specific statistics you will be tracking at what specific time, on what specific campaign. Conversions is out. If you want, you can use it. I'm not going to ask you for it. Now, write down, please. Audience answers the question, who comes to my website? Answers the question, who. Acquisition answers the question, how. How are they coming to my site? Behavior answers the question, what are they doing on my site? Keep that in mind when you select statistics from each one. Who is my audience? How are they coming to my site? What are they doing? So those 3 categories, you should focus on answering those questions. All right, now let's have a look at this video, which demonstrates the Google Analytics, some important statistics. I will talk over the video. There's no, there is audio, but I have the muted, so I can do the elaboration. You can watch it as anytime you want. This is the link right here. It will give you ideas of what is good for you to use. Let me jump straight to the important point. Tom. So, I'll let Tom, once it goes to real time, I'm going to pause it and talk about it. Can you see the video? Can I get a voice confirmation so I don't switch for it?
We see your screen.
Yeah, can you see the video playing?
No.
No?
Ah, yes.
Ah, so can you see it? It's a YouTube video, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this guy is going to go to his tutorials page. This is the website that he's tracking, and you will see that right here, active users right now. You switch to wait for it, it will go yeah, tutorials. So it's instantly updated once the user is right on that. So this is the overview. He's gonna go to one of the categories and we're gonna talk about it. We will see what he says and then I will pause it and talk about it. So he will start with real time, I believe. Yeah, that's the one. He's gonna go to overview. All right, so this is what we see. How many active users are on the site right now? You can see what pages are they visiting and you can see locations. I mean, where are the users that they're currently right now on your site? All right, question to you. Can you give me an idea when should I be tracking real-time statistics on a campaign? What do you think? When do you think is a good idea to track the real-time statistics? Audience acquisition and behavior, they are past data. Real-time is now. When do you think I should go to this category?
When the campaign has started running.
Bravo. Which one is it? Sodiri. Thank you, Sodiri. Why, Sodiri? I should go. Let's say we start the campaign on Monday. It's a good idea to go on Monday on real time. Why? What are the lessons that I can learn from this?
To see how many people you have on your website.
And compare with what, Sodiri?
Before the campaign start.
That's an opinion. So if the landing page had 100 users, and now I'm running a campaign, which probably I'm promoting something via my social media, and once I release the post on Facebook, I'm gonna come here and see if I get more than 100 users. That's correct. That's a very valid point to mention in the assignment. What else? What can I do? Yes.
To see if the customer is going through the journey you have expected him to go with this ad.
Anastasia. Bravo. So I can see that their top active pages is the tutorials. If my customer journey meant for them to be there, then excellent news. If I actually have people, spending a lot of time in the second or even in the third option, then something went wrong. They cannot proceed with the customer journey. Very good. Now, what else? With specifically this one, the number of active users, where I can compare it with what? With regards to my campaign, in order to see if it's effective.
The future of our company, because we want to start watching in the beginning to see after what is going on. I mean, now campaign is working. I mean, watch it every few days.
Bravo. Ένα λεπτό. Πάτρα να κάνουμε. Η Πάτρα, ναι.
Yeah, ναι.
Πάτρα, ένα λεπτό. This is real time, right? So after the day passes, the data goes in audience acquisition behavior. So it's not longer in real time. So the answer, so that I can see from a couple of days ago, that's it, still valid, but what am I looking for here? Guys, can I help you out? When we started the campaign, did we have a target audience in mind? Like quality and quantity, right? So when the campaign starts, if I was targeting 200 people, then I want to see here 200 people. Right? If I see less, it doesn't mean we panic. It means that what's happening. And you should always go to real time while the campaign is running, because you can do improvements. If the campaign runs out, and of course we will see the data and we can learn from the mistakes, but thank you very much, the campaign has ended. I have spent my money. I have spent my time. I have ruined my exposure. I have ruined the benefit of the first time seeing this content. Therefore, real time is a very good justification, a very good statistic for making improvements before the campaign ends. This is something that you can
But this is also, it is good, I think, in the way of, let's say, if it's traditional advertising, let's say if you run the campaign in radio or TV, you can like to check the results when it starts, for example, mentioned in radio, because otherwise you cannot track it.
You're right. But for the assignment, offline traditionally solved, right? Don't mention. But you are correct. No. Exactly. So if I have exposure on any digital medium, you have to come here in order to see if it's actually working. You don't wait for it to end. Top active pages, I think it was Anastasia mentioned a very good point, and locations in order to see if the target audience is actually the one being engaging in the campaign. Now, it doesn't explain anything else. So again, it's not this video, I have selected it because it briefly mentions some things. It's up to you. If you want to have a look in Google Analytics, you drop this down, you have a look at the other ones, and then you go to the glossary and identify what it does. If you want to mention it for the assignment, that you will also keep track of it when, on which campaign. Let's move now to let's see where he will click. Behavior. What is the question that we answer with behavior again?
What?
Thank you, Alina. What are they doing on our website? So he's going to go to site content and he's going to click on all pages. All right, there you are. So remember I told you before we were going to have a look at bounce rate. I forgot where it is. There it is right now. So it's right there. Now let's scroll down. Bravo. So these are the pages. These are the page views. These are the unique page views. What's the difference? If I come to your site and I go from homepage to contact us and then back to homepage will get 2 page views for me. But unique page views will only be 1 because I'm the same person navigating through your site. So which pages do we want to have unique page views higher? Which pages of the campaign do we want to have higher unique page views than the other pages?
The landing or conversion pages?
Thank you very much, Anastasia. I don't understand the conversion. I understand the landing pages. When you say the conversion pages, what do you mean? Do you mean the last pages?
Depending, like let's say if I set with my campaign the goal of conversion to have a sign up, I'd like to have more unique users to land on the sign up page.
So the landing page.
Well, yeah, in the end it's the destination landing page, yeah.
There's no conversion page, terminology. If you are referring to exit, we will talk about it. So there is entrance and there is exit. So people entering on that page, people exiting on that page. Same question as before. Where do we want to see a high percentage on exit pages? On the percentage.
Thank you, page.
So Didi, you are mentioning a specific one, but can you, generalize it for a campaign? Which ones are they?
Conversion.
No. I mean, if a customer journey has 3 pages long, which page of the 3 do we want to have a high exit?
The last one.
Bravo, the last one. It means they follow the customer journey. Like saying, you don't need to actually specify right now Of course, for the assignment, you will have to specify which one you are referring to. But now for the lecture, let's keep it general. Bounce rate, we talked about before. So which ones we don't want to have a high bounce rate, which ones we do want to have a high bounce rate. We talked about it before. So this is on all pages in behavior. And it's going to demonstrate that we can switch the duration from there, the period of time. So of course, for the assignment, I need you to tell me what is the period that you will be tracking the statistics. Some of you may think from the start to the end of the campaign will be a good answer. It's not always the best answer. Think about it. I don't want to give it away, but if the campaign will run, for example, 1 month, 2 months, should we be, taking conclusions from the first until the end of the campaign? Maybe not. Let's see what else he will demonstrate here. We are in the behavior, so what people are doing. So this actually demonstrates what are they doing, which page is higher in the specific category. And these are all the pages of the website. He talks about what we said before. So he's going to go on now. By the way, average time on page. Maybe that's also a good statistic for you to use. Like if you are requiring the user to fill up a form, usually what we do, we count the time for us to fill up the form, or we bring a focus group and we ask them to fill up the form. We count, we find the average of time, and then we compare with how much time they spend on that page. So if it's, for example, a page that has a form, or if it's an article on my blog, then the duration matters. I do care how long they stayed. Yeah, they talk about that. Look at the bounce rate, 70, 70 and above. But if you have less than 80%, I mean, it's not alarming. Of course, you need to improve it, but it's not alarming. More than 80%, that means 9 out of 10 people are leaving, then yes, you should be alarmed. It says it on the video as well. It explains it slightly better than me. All right, so let's move to the next one. All right, so now it's going to move to another important statistic here, which is the behavior flow. Now he talks about that if you change it, you may find different results. All right, behavior flow. Another important statistic in the behavior category. Look at this one. So over here you see the connections between the movements of the user from one page to another. So what was the starting page? What did they do after that? Like first interaction is where they click to go to. So I had people 6.7K landed on my homepage. The slash means the homepage. From there, 1.6K moved to tutorials, probably using a link, using the menu. From there, 903 moved to back to homepage. I had 347 moved to products. So you can see the most important, I would say, navigations from every page to every other page. So people coming here, starting page, how to create blah, 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 they move to the home page. So what is the lesson from this? What do we want to see here?
Customer journey.
Very, very good. Thank you, Zoliri. What you want to see here is actually if users have followed your suggested customer journey. You will be surprised that mostly will not follow your customer journey, but that's okay. By the way, you can increase the zoom there. This is something that will, it's for us to teach us some lessons. So if users are going from the starting homepage to the tutorials, and we want them to go to products, we want, to follow that journey ourselves and say, why are they doing that? Maybe, what we are suggesting to go to products is not as obvious as we wanted it to be. With a little bit of change in the design, we can increase the number of those transitions to the products page. So behavior flow signifies the actual customer journeys. Remember, these are past data. Acquisition. What is the lesson learned in acquisition? What question do we answer in acquisition?
How?
How? Thank you very much. So there are only, certain number of options to get to a website. Via social media, direct, meaning somebody typing the URL and getting there. Probably these are the ones that found your website from offline media, like TV, radio, magazines, written on cards, I don't know, business cards. Referral is when you have those backlinks from other websites. Organic search are Google searches, and other, I have no idea what it is. But what is important with regards to this, if you click on a category, it will actually give you a further breakdown. So if you want to answer the question how people are coming, this category here, channels, I think is a very, very useful one. So you could click on social and look at that. It gives you a breakdown of the social media that brought users to you. Sessions, new sessions, that means new users, percentage-wise and in numbers. Bounce rate, how many pages have seen per session. Average duration. The other ones are not for discussion now. So over here, what you want to see is that if you design campaigns using social media, well, you want those social media to appear high, right? If I have a Facebook campaign or Facebook presence, I don't want Facebook to be, further than number 3. Similarly, you can see like Pocket. What is Pocket? I don't know what Pocket is. Social media, probably. Channels, back direct referral. So you can see here who brought you traffic, leads. So those are the partners. It could be paid ones. It could be actual people that have found interest in your site and they added editorial backlinks. These are the ones that you should contact and thank if you did not form a partnership with.
Dimitri,
Paragalo.
If you make a Google display ad and the banner is on a website, for example, the website is gonna be here.
Yeah. If it's an affiliate, then it will appear that it has brought a referral. So what you want to see here is actually all the people that you paid to have a banner and display ad. You want to see if they're actually bringing you some content. Thank you. So there is that.
Yes.
So you can see if actually your money is worth spent. Audience answers the question, who is coming to my site? So remember, you will do situational analysis and you will define the audience because it's not, okay, let's go to location first. So location signifies, the place that your people are located. Can we relate that to the business? So what is the lesson learned here? Why do we need to learn the location of the visitors? I mean, we're doing digital marketing. What is the lesson or the value in learning the location?
To know where to target your ads.
I mean, we are doing like, you have a point there, but if I see that I have a high, attraction from a country, should I target that country? So did it. I mean, I will go the other way. If I don't see the country that I was targeting, then I need to increase. But I was looking for something else. Like, although we're doing digital marketing, we also have physical stores, right? So although you will see Cyprus here, if you click on the country, he's gonna do that right now, you can actually see the locations. So he's gonna go inside. And you can see the states. In Cyprus, you can see the cities. You can also see the areas. It goes up to municipalities. So you will see, for example, Aglancha, Strovolos. I don't know the municipalities in Limassol, Polevizia. So this is the place that you can see in order to target your next opening, your next actual physical store opening. If you have people from that location showing interest, if you open up a store there, you have higher probability of them visiting it. So it goes up to, for USA, it goes right to counties. All right, let's go next. Demographics overview, there you are. So remember, you will do situational analysis. You will define the target audience. You need to justify how you will be evaluating that decision. Google Analytics is a perfect example. So you can see here that the target audience of this person is 25 to 55, I would say. Mostly 25 to 34. By the way, you can see how Google separates the segments, the age ranges. If Google thinks it's a good idea to separate it as such, I'm going to agree with Google. So you target differently these segments. You cannot say, for example, 18 to 65 plus. Well, that's a big range. And male, female. So this is the justification if your situation, if your target audience is actually working. So for example, for the assignment, you can refer to this statistic in order to say that this is how we will be tracking and see if the selected target audience is actually the one we have specified, we targeted. Technology, browser, and OS is another one. So over here, it demonstrates what browsers the users were using when coming to our sites. Can somebody tell me why this is important? Why do I care if they're using Google Chrome or Safari or whatever?
Maybe your website runs faster at the browser that is in the first place.
So why should I know this, Sodiri? What should I do with this lesson? Why do I care about this?
To optimize it.
Bravo. Let me change a little bit to test it. So when you are testing your website, if most of your users are using Google Chrome, well, maybe when you're running your weak site or whatever, you want to test it that it works better in Chrome. You know, if you don't know, not all browsers are the same. Something that works well in one browser may not work well in another. Same thing, it's gonna go to, look at that, Internet Explorer. There are people using Internet Explorer still. Mobile.
I think the video is very old, that's why.
Oh, Eshakuma, trust me. For example, Sotiri, Cyprus government. Μια και ζητάς μόνο να σου δείξω. Τμήμα Αρχαιοτήτων Κύπρος. Is anybody working there? This is the official website of the Cyprus government for the τμήμα Αρχαιοτήτων. If I go down, καλύτερη απεικόνιση με Microsoft Internet Explorer and Netscape Navigator. It's like, oh my God. Moving on. Desktop, mobile, and for those of you who don't know, Netscape Navigator was like the first browser in the 90s. Are people coming using a desktop, mobile, or tablet? Another useful lesson for us to know. As you may know, I mean, I'm sure you know, people are using mobiles now, smartphones to access pages, not just desktop. So with regards to mobile, what we are interested is not going to go to devices on the left. By the way, this is to also see that if we should be targeting customer journeys on the desktop, on the mobile, or on the tablet. And we should be targeting all three of them, but at least we can prioritize which ones should we do first. And he's now going to go to devices on the left, and we will see actual devices that people are using when they're coming to his site. Again, the same lesson as before. Whatever you see at the top, that's the first one you need to use when you optimize, when you test your site, your mobile customer journeys. Now, those are the ones. Again, it's like a small description of some of the important statistics. It's your responsibility to go to Google Analytics, have a look at them, go to the glossary, read the description, and think about as you develop your campaigns connected to your customer journeys, what would be a good statistic to keep track on in order to measure the effectiveness of the campaign. This is the requested objective here. Nicoletta, I don't get the how. Can you explain to me? Τι εννοείς το how? Έχασα το πριν. Was it something that I said? Or did you answer the question?
Maybe it's acquisition. She's asking.
Was something you want to share? Okay. Right. Now let's another presence. Who's here? Anton, is Anton here? No. Christiana Angeli. Despina. Ειρήνη Περπετούα Κοκκίνου. Η Ευαθία.
Εδώ είμαι.
Γεια σου Ευαθία. Ο Joshua. Guys, is Joshua coming to the other lectures? I haven't met him yet.
I've talked to him. He said that he's working till late and he's watching the recordings afterwards.
Okay. So Joshua, if you're listening to this, I haven't seen you in a group. What are you doing with the assignment? I'm very worried. I have also emailed you, so please respond to my email. Thank you, Joshua. Κωνσταντίνος Θεοδόρου, Νίκος Ευτυχίου, All right, so listen up. Let me conclude the recording.